I'm Shanez and welcome to English Techniques. Today I shall be covering part 2 of the frequently asked IELTS questions. Please stick around till the end because you might find some answers which you had been looking for.
Frequently asked questions, part 2. What is the passing mark of the IELTS test? The IELTS test does not set a passing or failing mark. The test evaluates or assesses a candidate's English proficiency level. The institutions, agencies, government offices, employers, and schools are the ones who set a passing mark for the applicants. Thus, it is important to check with these institutions to know what score to aim for. Some require a specific minimum overall band score regardless of individual band scores. However, others ask for minimum individual and overall band scores. Examples of required minimum scores for nurses. Currently, USA requires nurses to get an overall band score of 6.5 with a speaking band of 7. Ireland requires nurses to get a minimum of 6.5 for listening and reading and a 7 for writing and speaking with an overall band score of 7. Australia, New Zealand, and UK require nurses to get a minimum of 7 in all subtests as well as a 7 overall band score. Policies may have changed from the time this video was uploaded. How do I compute for my overall band score? IELTS band scores are based on a 9-band scale from 0 to 9, with whole band scores, for example 6, 7, or 8, as well as half band scores, such as 6.5, 7.5, or 8.5. Your overall band score is the average of the individual band scores of the 4 subtests. Add up the band scores of the listening test, the reading test, the writing test, and the speaking test. Divide the sum by 4 to get your overall band score. For example, if you happen to get a 7 for listening, a 7 for reading, 6 for writing, and 6 for speaking, 7 plus 7 plus 6 plus 6 equals 26. Divide that by 4, you end up with 6.5 as your overall band score. Now, if your score is anywhere between a whole band and a half band score, it is rounded to the next half band score. For example, you get a 7 for listening, 6.5 for reading, 6.5 for writing, and 7 for speaking. 7 plus 6.5 plus 6.5 plus 7 equals 27. Divide that by 4, you end up with 6.75, which is rounded to 7 as your overall band score. Can I combine 2 test report forms or TRFs? Yes. Some institutions accept the combination of 2 test results or sometimes even more, as long as the said tests are taken within a specific period. Examples for nurses. The Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, or APRA, and the Nursing and Midwifery Council, or NMC in the UK, which both require a 7 across all band scores, can accept the combination of 2 IELTS test results taken within a 6-month period for as long as a score of 7 or higher is achieved in each individual band when test scores are viewed together, and for as long as both tests do not reflect any individual band score lower than 6.5. The New Zealand Nursing Council also accepts the combination of 2 or more tests taken within 12 months from the first test, for as long as a minimum of 7 is reflected across all bands when TRFs are combined or viewed together. Policies may have changed from the time this video was uploaded. Therefore, it would be wise to confirm directly with the institution. For how long is my test result valid? An IELTS test result is valid for 2 years only. Beyond that period, the test results are considered invalid even if target scores had been met. The reason being that a person's English proficiency level may have changed after 2 years. Therefore, it is highly advisable that candidates utilize their test results before it reaches the 1-year mark, as one has to consider the length of processing. I lost a copy of my test report form. What should I do? Unfortunately, should one lose his personal TRF, the candidate will not be able to acquire another personal copy. What one can do is request for an additional TRF to be sent to the institutions which will require their results. I also suggest you keep photocopies and screenshots of your TRF just so that you have important details, such as TRF number and the like, just in case. To avoid losing your TRF, first of all, I recommend that you claim it personally so it does not get lost by someone else. If you can't do that, authorize someone who is responsible enough to understand how important that TRF is to you. Don't bring it with you everywhere you go because unexpected things may happen. Now, if you have your results sent to your home, try to be home during the expected time of delivery. If that's not possible, you might need to leave an authorization letter and ID for the courier. Leave instructions with whoever is left at home to safekeep it in a specific place until you get it yourself. If, for example, your results had not yet been received after 3 weeks, you need to contact IDP or British Council because sometimes the delivery address may not have been located by the courier, or if the courier did pass by, no one was home to receive the document. When this happens, the results are sent back to the testing center, and it is the candidate's responsibility to follow up and track the fate of the missing TRF. How do I send my results to institutions abroad? You need to contact IDP or British Council to find out if the institution you plan to send your results to is included among those allowed to receive an additional copy of your TRF, just to be sure. One must fill up and sign a downloadable and printed form or the request for additional TRFs and send it to IDP or British Council. When the request reaches the testing center, the transmittal is done sometimes through electronic sending, which is free. At other times, a physical copy is sent via courier service, which may sometimes require a fee. Again, please contact IDP or British Council for the amount needed for the fee, if any. Can I ask for a remarking of my IELTS test results? Yes, if you happen to be unhappy with your test results, you may ask for one or more specific subtests to be remarked. You need to download an EOR or Inquiry on Results from the testing center's website. You need to print it, fill it up, and affix your signature. You then have to attach your original TRF as well as the payment covering the remarking fee. Yes, there is a fee, amount of which you have to clarify with your testing center. You then send it to IDP or British Council with a deadline of exactly 6 weeks from test date. After 2 to 3 days of sending, check if it had been received by the testing center. They have to send you the original receipt for the payment you made. This is very important for a reason I shall discuss in a bit. Then, the waiting game begins. It takes about 8 weeks, or maybe even a bit longer, for results and remarking to come out. This is because your request, along with the writing test paper or recording for the speaking test, will be sent abroad for a senior examiner to check. Now, if your score remains the same, they return to you the original TRF with a letter stating the decision, which unfortunately can no longer be reversed. On the other hand, if your scores go higher, even by 0.5, a new test report form with your new scores will be generated and sent back to you. In addition to that, the remarking fee will be refunded. For you to claim the refund, you need to write a letter requesting for the refund, and the original receipt for the remarking fee needs to be attached to the letter. Without the receipt, the refund request will not be processed. That's why it's very important to keep the receipt. The check covering the amount of the remarking fee will be issued in the candidate's name and sent to the candidate's delivery address stated in the EOR form. Something worth noting: requesting for the remarking for the listening and reading tests is not recommended, as these have specific answers. Therefore, chances of score improvement is very, very minimal. I shall be posting a different video in the future to guide you with your decision regarding the remarking process. If I do not pass a certain subtest, can I just take that specific test, or should I take the whole test? If you do not pass one subtest, you cannot take just that specific test separately. You would need to take the whole test, covering all 4 subtests. Can I retake the test right away? Yes, you may take the test as soon as you wish. There is no restrictive period that disallows you to take the test at any time. Now, if the difference between the target score and your actual score is a 0.5, then taking the test immediately would be fine. But if the difference is as big as 2 points, then maybe one should think about working on their weaknesses before taking the test again. What are the best ways to prepare for the IELTS test? The best way to prepare for the test is to review. One needs to acquire basic knowledge about the test. Effective tips, strategies, and techniques will surely come in handy. Lectures will provide the candidate with all these. In addition to lectures, practice tests taken under test conditions are essential to help candidates get used to test content, the sequence of the tests, and time limits. Test familiarity can definitely help a candidate maximize his or her scores.
I hope I've answered some of your questions. My next video shall be the first in a series of lectures covering the writing test. I know this is an area which a lot of candidates find difficult, and I hope I can help you in this aspect. So, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please hit the notification bell icon to be updated with my latest videos. Till my next one, thank you for watching.